welcome to another episode of Listen to Us Rant About Movies. I'm Wes Ford.
And I'm Zach Harris.
We rant about movies and drink while we do it. On this episode, all we're going to be discussing is what we've been watching. And we're going to give an in-depth review of It Chapter 2. Tonight, we're both drinking Weihenstephaner. I think that's how you pronounce it. I looked it up.
Festbier.
Festbier. I looked it up before the podcast. It's the oldest brewery ever.
Wow.
They claim they're the oldest brewery.
That's crazy.
And, yeah, this is their special release Oktoberfest style beer.
Nice.
So let's get a little taste.
Let's get a sip going.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Daddy light.
It's good. Nice and simple.
I'm into it. Yeah.
Just a good, tasty Oktoberfest lager, really.
You got a bomber over there? Your bomber baby?
Yeah, I got like a tall glass.
Oh, nice. Yeah, they didn't. When you sent me the photo, I thought it was a bomber, so I was looking, and they only had the 6-pack.
Oh, really?
Just interesting, you know? Who knows?
Yeah, it's just
wild.
interesting. This was only like $3, dude. Too.
Hell yeah.
It's 5.8%. Too. Nice.
Good biz.
Alrighty then. Before we get into what we've been watching, I'd like to remind you this podcast is brought to you by Audible. You can get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/LTURAM. You can choose from 180,000 titles from your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. And if you like what you hear on this episode, remember you can find other episodes of our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and YouTube.
Why'd you drop the bit? I was enjoying the bit, bud.
Oh, do you like the bit?
Let it ride, bud. Special episode.
I should have kept it, right?
Yeah, you should have kept it going, dude. Just do it for the rest of the cast. It'll be natural.
It's just gonna deteriorate rapidly.
Yeah. It's like, what am I even doing, buddy?
Yeah. All right, well, what you been watching, man?
Well, last night I watched In Fabric, the Peter Strickland movie.
Nice.
I think A24 has the rights for it, and it's coming out maybe sometime this year, maybe next year. But it's out in the UK. Snatched that UK blue, and
nice.
Could have waited. Didn't really like it, but now I own it on Blu-ray. And, it's the same guy who did Berberian Sound Studio and Duke of Burgundy, and
I haven't seen those.
I didn't really care for Berberian, or however you pronounce it, Sound Studio, but Duke of Burgundy I thought was incredible. And so I was looking forward to it. He's kind of like a throwbacky, like Italian. He's an English filmmaker, but kind of like giallo Italian throwbacky vibe. You know what I mean? And I really thought this movie was going to be cool. It's about a killer dress. It's like a woman who buys a red dress, and it turns out to be like an evil killer dress. And I like the concept a lot.
Yeah, sounds cool.
The trailer looks amazing, and it's just kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of boring, honestly. Like, the dress wasn't that cool. Some of the shots of it moving are really interesting, and it's like flowing in the wind, and it's like a weird billowing thing. But then also sometimes, like, there's a scene where it's like above someone, and they look up and go like, ah, and it drops on them. But it literally just looks like they like pinned it to the ceiling. It's just like not really like it's just like pinned to the ceiling, and it's like sagging. And it's just like, what? It's just pinned there. You know, it's just kind of like lame.
It sucks.
Yeah, there's all this like weird shit about the son character like painting like vaginas and buttholes, and like commenting on like consumerism and like this like weird Satanist cult that work at this department store, and like I don't know, it's just a lot. It's trying really hard, and it's kind of like you like this genre, and you're trying to like make a throwback to this movie in this genre, but you subvert it so many times that it's like, what are you even trying to do anymore, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like constantly trying to like flip the script. You could tell he was very confident, or it's seemingly confident, and which makes sense because Duke of Burgundy was a total banger. It's a great movie. So I think the Duke was a fluke, and I was bummed out. I really thought I was going to enjoy it. There's a scene where two women lay down a mannequin that has underwear on, and then take the underwear off, and there's like a real vagina, and then it starts bleeding, and then an old man comes up and starts watching from far away, and then the woman like eats the menstrual blood and stares at the old man, and then the old man beats off, and then there's like 3 separate shots of like his cum like flying through the air.
Jesus Christ.
That's when I was just like, you know what? I don't like this movie. You know what I mean? Like, it makes no sense and is in here for absolutely no reason, and this is really stupid. Like,
it's like being profane just for like, just for doing it, you know, just to be profane, or
I don't,
or trying to say something but failing horribly.
Yeah, he's like screaming like 100 different things, so then it's just like everything's really on the nose, but it's like not about anything. You know what I mean? It's kind of lame. They try to do some interesting stuff, and the score at times is really cool, and the visuals at sometimes are really cool, but it's just not like cohesive, like in any way. Didn't like it. So whenever that comes out here, just don't go see it, Wes.
Okay, sounds good. What's that called again?
In Fabric.
In Fabric. All right. Cool. So somewhat recently, I watched. It's been a couple weeks, but I watched Ready or Not in theaters.
Oh, nice. How was that?
Yeah. I enjoyed it. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Very funny. Like pretty funny. And there's some good action into it as well. I think near the end it starts to fall apart. Like there's aspects I wasn't like a big fan of, but it's definitely worth to go check out, and it's just like a lot of fun. Go with like some friends, and I liked it a lot more than I thought I would.
Nice, that's always good.
Yeah.
Is it like a Pound a Few Brews type movie?
Like you don't even need to. It would definitely make it more fun, of course, but it's like a good late night with your friends type of film.
Nice.
And Samara Weaving, she's pretty awesome in the role. Even the poster, like I saw the poster and I was like, I gotta see this. It kind of has like a Tarantino-esque look to the poster. Yeah. And she obviously with the dress and the gun and everything, she kind of gives off some Kill Bill vibes. But it's not like that at all. She has her own personality and everything. It's her own unique character, and it's pretty cool. Adam Brody is hilarious in this movie, and this with Shazam, I gotta say, Adam Brody, he's becoming quite favorable in my eyes.
Yeah,
pretty cool
You're
guy.
In on the Broad?
I'm in on the Broad, man. He's good.
The Broad.
And,
I like the Broad.
The Broad. But yeah, man, it's worth checking out, dude. I enjoyed it. It's good fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ready or Not.
I watched Night of the Demon, directed by Jacques Tourneur. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. 1957. Just a good old spooky horror, man. Really enjoyed it. It's like a professor, and they're doing studies, and he's into witchcraft, and someone dies in the beginning. It starts with this like really like surprising like blast of an opening for like a movie of that era. And it's just like a guy and this woman investigating this sort of like mysterious disappearance, potentially linked to witchcraft.
I like it already.
Yeah. Just some really cool effects, some cool ideas. Throwing Stonehenge in the mix. You're throwing like a big, like practical, like demon in the mix. Built throwing some like cloud tank sky footage stuff that's spooky and like it's fun. It's just like a really well executed horror movie like of that era that I haven't really seen. It's kind of like detective-y noir-y, kind of like a more American version of some of those like Italian, you know what I mean?
What year did it come out?
57.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's good.
Cool.
And I've read a lot about this director. I haven't seen anything else they've done. I know Nightfall is a big one, like a noir movie that I'd really like to check out. But yeah, it was my first experience with one of their movies, and really enjoyed it. So it's worth checking out.
Awesome. What's the name of that?
Night of the Demon.
Night of the Demon. I have to check that out. Sounds cool.
Yeah. Good Halloween watch for sure.
Nice. It's about that time, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Making a list already.
Hell yeah, I'm excited.
Checking it twice.
I also caught another film in theaters. I had a little bit of time off, and so that's why I went to go see Ready or Not, and decided to catch this too. I wanted to see this anyway. I saw The Farewell.
Oh, nice. I would like to see that movie. Was it good?
A24 film. I love this movie, dude. I love this movie. It's really, really, really good. Everyone should see it. Everyone should see this movie. Yeah, I don't know. Even that being said, I don't really know what else to say about it. But it's just a very heartfelt film. You know, you get this wonderful insight into Asian American life and these Asian Americans going back to China to see their grandmother, the grandmother of the family, who is dying, but she doesn't know it. And the main character, played by Awkwafina, who does a fantastic job acting her role, she kind of struggles with if she should tell her or not, if that she has cancer and that she's dying. And apparently it's not customary over there to do that. You don't want you want that, how they view it is they want them to die blissfully and unaware, as in it kind of struggles with that versus like the American view, which that's actually illegal in America to do that. But you know, Americans kind of think, yeah, I want to know if I'm dying or not. And so that's kind of what it struggles with, and it's kind of just them visiting their grandmother and how like having a grandmother is like a great treasure in a family and makes you want to hug your grandmother. And it was just it reminded me a lot of the movie that came out last year. I'm going blank now. Sorry.
That's fine.
I saw it recently, but it was a Japanese film. Not Burning, but the other one. Shoplifters. Yes, thank you. Yeah. It reminded me a lot of like similar vibe.
Yeah, very like honest, heartfelt, like real feeling.
Yeah, totally that. And I really like this movie too. There's a lot of good comedic moments, and it goes back and forth between, has English and Chinese, you know, so it's like kind of a foreign language film, but it's like half not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really, really, really liked it. Definitely so far one of my favorite movies of the year.
Nice.
Not that
that's a top 10 potential, huh?
It's definitely a top 10 potential. It's currently in the top 10, but as we were kind of talking about before, nothing against this movie at all. I hope that it lasts, but movies this year haven't been that great overall. Like I feel like there's been a lot of stuff I wanted to see. I've been disappointed often, and someone actually asked me over the weekend, like, what are like the best movies you've seen this year? And I like could barely think of any. I was like, I loved Her Smell, and I don't know what else came out. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know what else. It's like the only one I can think of that I gave like 5. You know? I know. Yeah, there's no 5-star ones really.
I guess I saw Birds of Passage this year. It's technically a this year movie.
I heard that was good.
Even though, it's very good.
There's going to be a lot of movies coming up soon that are going to be really good, but this is a 4.5 to a 5-star film for me.
Nice.
And
on the fence, huh? Can't decide.
I think I landed on 4.5.
Okay.
But it's pretty good. So worth checking out. That's The Farewell. A24, always killing it.
When did you see it? Is that still around? Is that still out?
It had a very small limited run over here. It was only playing like limited times at my Cinemark theater.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure it's still playing, but I had off.
If I missed that one.
I saw it was playing. I was like, I gotta catch that because I know it's gonna go away really soon. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
Check it out.
Hell yeah. I watched A Star Is Born the other night. Granted,
Nice.
I have not seen the very ending. I'm not sure how long. I did fall asleep, but I remember looking, and it was like 2 hours and like 5 minutes in, and then I watched like a little more. So like, I made it just about there.
Well, you got to see the end.
I know.
You got to see the end.
Should I not talk about it until I see the end?
I'd say wait till you see the end. Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, you can give some initial thoughts if you want.
It's a weird one because overall it's just like, I don't know, it's like movie's not for me. Like I didn't like think it was like bad. It's just like not my kind of movie. But
I get you.
I felt like the timeline was weird, where it was like simultaneously too long, but also like I needed so much more time between everything because the jumps were really jarring.
Yeah, for sure.
But also certain scenes in it just like work so well that I was just like, man, fuck this movie, dude. It's just like a little smirk, like, oh, this movie sucks. I don't like it. You know, like, I know. But its parts are extremely effective, and the performances are pretty good. I like Lady Gaga in it a lot. I thought she was really good.
Yeah, she's really good.
Bradley Cooper's good, but also really funny. For some reason, I enjoyed him in it, but like also I thought it was, I don't know, it was just really funny. Sometimes.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. It's like, oh, just like mumbly and Also, I didn't even realize that Sam Elliott was actually in the movie. I just read a lot about how he was inspired by Sam Elliott. So then, knowing that he's in the movie, I was like, oh, whoa, he's like actually in it. And then it was like doing it and being like, just like standing. I don't know.
He got Best Supporting Actor for that role.
Oh yeah, I guess I just forgot about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. Like I didn't dislike it. I enjoyed it.
I liked it more after I watched it. And you know what kind of fed into like the drama was the whole performance at the Academy Awards.
Yeah,
it was like so juicy and gossipy. I think I talked about that on the podcast. But it's the performances, it's the people in it that make the movie, I think, the most enjoyable part for me. You know?
Yeah.
It's not like a fantastic film, but there's something about it that's like fun and like you kind of like, I like it. You know?
It's charming. Like,
it's charming.
Yeah, like Dice being in there as her dad. It's like, look, you're a great singer. You know, it's like, okay, this is fun. Like, and I also really like her friend who's on She's Gotta Have It. I don't know his name.
I don't remember.
The guy that she works with, who like she takes the first time to the show to go see him. Her like coworker.
Right.
It's
been a while. I don't know.
He's on I love him on She's Gotta Have It. So when he like came in, I was like, oh, I love this guy. Like he's a good face to see.
It's like really entertaining in like a pop culture type of way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's
a pop culture
and
film.
Like I was it was like late and I had to do some work and I was just like, I gotta put on something that like I can work during like very casually and just like spread this like 20 to 30 minutes of work over the course of a movie. You know what I mean? And I finished it pretty quick and then was like pretty invested for the rest of it. And it was late. So I was like, I'm not gonna finish whatever. And I guess I didn't, but I came within like 10 minutes. So
all right. Well, I say the ending's pretty big and it's a big spoiler, so I'd say check it out and see. I would like to see your thoughts after that happens.
Yeah,
your thoughts. I might have drastically change
the spoiler. I might have had it spoiled. So
okay, well, just wait anyway.
For sure.
Okay. Okay, so let's see. What else did I watch?
Dark Crystal, right? Or I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's perfect. Two things. Yes, I watched Dark Crystal, and secondly, I watched the documentary film afterwards.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
But let's talk about Dark Crystal. I finished it. I finished the whole series.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts post? Because I have not finished it. I'm like halfway through.
I dig it a lot, man. I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's actually amazing. Actually, it's amazing.
It's not. I'm a very large fan of the original movie.
Yeah. And puppets.
It's not. Yeah, and just puppets in general.
Yeah.
And I'll say like it's not like perfect. Like, man, what a perfect piece. What a perfect 10-hour show.
Oh, it's definitely not.
But it's simultaneously like a miracle that it's real and is as good as it is. And I feel like it really there's a lot of stuff visually. Like some of the camera language I'm not like super crazy about, and I don't think it like feels the same as the movie visually at times. But tonally, they like really nailed the tone.
The tone is
perfect.
Almost exact. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like super silly, but
also
really
kind of scary and
scary.
Dark. Yeah.
But there's also like humor in the villains, and the way that the Skeksis are written is hysterical. Just like the lines of them just like ordering each other around, like the language they're using is super funny.
They're the best characters, yeah.
I love the addition of the I think Awkwafina does the voice of the one with the boils.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, just like snotting all the one where she's just sitting and she goes, oh no. Yeah, all the like goop just like falls in their dinner that they're eating. It's like a big dinner scene. It's like, oh, and they're just like, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love just the little Muppet characters, like even like the like the servant ones, like the they look like
Podlings.
little priests. Yeah, the podlings, yeah.
Yeah. They're hysterical.
They're amazing. They look like little potatoes.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one, I think the hardest I laughed during the whole show thus far is there. I think it was the third or fourth episode opens with one of the podlings like trapped in like a little cage like underground, and it's like zooming through the place, and he's singing like a song of like. I'm assuming just like a podling song to like get him through the time, but it's all gibberish and just like Ushano Washio. It's just like what? It's amazing. It's so good. Like what else is doing that? You know.
So, dude, you should finish the show, obviously, and then the documentary actually brought a lot of things to light, like that stuff, that gibberish. That's an actual little like language they came up with.
I'm sure that they like
it's like a whole thing,
sort of like that's amazing,
dude. There's all this crazy lore from the first film that they built off of, but they like really fleshed it out, and it's kind of amazing how they were able to have such a detailed puppet production. It is actually, according to the documentary, the biggest, most expensive, and like grandest puppet production ever made.
I believe it, man.
Which makes sense. It's 10 hours.
First one was probably that at the time.
Yeah,
you know
it was that at the time.
And it's like,
for sure.
It's way bigger than the original one.
Yes.
And I'm sure it has, or I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
And I'm sure it's going to expand more because I've only seen half of it, but it does feel, it feels like there's like so much new stuff, but not in like an episode 1 kind of way. You know what I mean? Where it's like, what? Because they do a good job at figuring out.
It still feels like the same world. It's like the same world.
And like the idea of the story is like crazy to make a show of.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, remember the race that's dead in the movie? Like, it's about them trying to kill all of them. Basically, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, whoa! Like, I was not like expecting that to be like the trajectory of it. You know what I mean? And maybe it develops past that, but I don't, or before that, I don't really know where it's gonna land. But it's really dark, which is nuts.
Oh yeah, the talent, the voices, not only the talent of the actual puppeteers, but the
but all
talent,
the voice acting.
So many good, so much good talent there. Mark Hamill he has a really big part actually.
Yeah, he's the scientist guy, right?
He's the scientist. Yep.
Yeah. Simon Pegg, literally, if you told me that it was the original voice
unrecognizable.
Actor, I would go, oh, they got the original voice actor to do the Chamberlain voice. It's like, it sounds exactly the same. It's
exactly. I know, it's so good. Yeah, man, it's great. I one downside I would say to it is I think it does get a little bogged down in all the plot. It's like trying to throw at you.
Very plotty.
Very plotty. There are some moments I'll admit where I was like kind of lost and like would drift off mentally, you know. But I do think near the end it kind of wraps itself back up, and the final couple episodes are really, really good. And I like where it like wraps up and ends. So overall, fantastic. It's like not getting enough love in my opinion. So
I was surprised. I mean, yeah, it doesn't seem like it had staying power, but when it premiered, I was like, I'm glad people are like liking this. You know what I mean? Like, it's good.
Yeah,
like, good.
It's actually good.
Yeah, it's unbelievable because I was really excited, but I was definitely trying to temper my expectations and like kind of not think about it because I was like, like Louis Leterrier or whoever directed it, Leterrier, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, he's done a lot of like actually not good things.
He's done a bunch of shit. It's like, yeah, I'm really excited about the Wrath of the Titans director handling this 10-hour puppet show. Like, God,
I know.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. I guess he's like, there's certain things that I'm like, I didn't need that. I don't need like, I would say most of like the crazy CG arcing, like camera movement, I don't really need. But
yeah,
there's enough there that it's not, that I like don't care. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't need this shot. Like the scene with the hunter, like running through the forest, is like really cool conceptually.
CG,
but like stylistically, not really like in tune. I think it kind of goes back. This is a broader subject, but short. But to the fact that like when people are making like entirely CG environments, no one shoots it the same way that they would just shoot a scene. Like if you made a CG environment. Like that shot that's like one shot and it's pulling through the woods and he's running everywhere. It's like, if you just broke that up into shots that you could practically shoot and it just wasn't practical, then it would just feel a lot better. You know what I mean? Because it's not calling attention to the fact that this is like fake in a show that prides itself on like being whatever percentage practical.
Yeah.
But it's still a miracle.
Practical.
Like, and I mean, it looks amazing. Like I'm not,
it looks
not
amazing,
hating, but there's just certain things like that. It's like kind of cutty at times, but it's also like this is a really cutty scene, but also I don't know how to cover 9 Skeksis puppets having dinner in a row. Like that's got to be hard to shoot. Interesting, you know. So like, I get it. Whatever. Who cares? Yeah. It's the Dark Crystal. This is fine. You know what I mean? Like you did it. You nailed the tone. You got one of however many. You know what I mean?
It feels spot on in terms of feels like it's in that world. It feels a part of that world. And I want to talk a little bit about just the cinematography, like you were talking about. Some of the cameras, sure, it's sometimes too much movement. One thing I want to say about that is the director actually did a lot of the Steadicam shots. He did most of the Steadicam.
Oh yeah, himself.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Secondly, I think the lighting looks incredible.
The lighting looks awesome. Yeah, like
it's
in the towers
amazing.
And stuff. Like all the sun rays coming in. Like I do.
The soft
I really
glow
like it
and
visually. Like the look of everything and the color palette and all that is like beautiful.
Yeah, and I was a really big fan of, because this looks great, and if you have a 4K HDR TV, holy shit. But definitely the scenes where I love the real like drone shots, like the real like landscape shots, and then like kind of like having little towns in there and stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Was fucking badass. Like it looked so good. Yeah. Overall, I think they did a really good job. Highly recommend watching that documentary after.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it.
There's a lot of the stuff you were talking about that they go into detail on and like explain a lot of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you see kind of the process. Like, they almost had all CG Skeksis, and they did like a test, and they were like, no, we don't want to do that. And they told the company like, no, we don't want to do that. And they're like, hold on, don't throw us away yet. We want your money. But they also like, let us show you a couple things we could do to enhance. And so they went in, and it's like 90% or 95% practical, but like some of the facial features, they like kind of did them more animated.
I can definitely tell the tongues
and the
potentially over animated at times, but they're like, but it's still,
they are.
Who cares? It's fine.
But I think they nailed it by having CG as something to enhance what's already there. Yeah. Which is how CG, in my opinion, should be used.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be the sole aspect of what you're watching. It should only be there to enhance what's already there. So I think they nailed that at least.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's a banger. It's a miracle it's as good as it is. It surpassed my expectations. Like, I don't think it's a perfect show, but it is definitely better than I anticipated it could be. You know,
and it's dude, it's like we have this epic puppet movie that came out, or like show, 10 hours in 2019. Like it's a kind of incredible, and it's a miracle, totally. Like you said. Yeah. I honestly, I'll go back and I'm gonna rewatch this like sometime. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely. It's great.
This is something where it's like not some Netflix thing I'll forget about. Like, literally, I want to show my kids this. You know, I want to come back and like watch this again. Like, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think I don't know if any other, and I haven't even finished it yet, but this is like one that I would like buy on Blu-ray. Like, if they put out a 4K of this series, I would buy it.
Oh, me too.
But I don't think I've ever said that about any other like Netflix show or anything.
Nope. I would never do it.
Thought about it. You know what I mean?
Nope. Never would for like a Netflix show, but I would for this. I definitely would for this. And I hope that happens. I doubt it will, but
I doubt it. They put stuff out though, not on UHD, but there are Blu-rays of Netflix shows.
Yeah, like Stranger Things. I know is one of them.
Well, that came out on UHD though.
Did it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool actually.
Yeah.
All right.
I know, because it came out right when I got my player, and I was kind of tempted to buy it, and I was like, no, I can't do it. Because I won't watch it again. I'll just like buy it, and I'll be like, yep, it'll be there. Something I can already watch. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance.
It's
pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's all I've got for what I've been watching.
Yeah. That's about it for me too, I guess. I watched The Mule. It's funny.
How was that?
Have you seen it?
No. I heard it was terrible.
Yeah, it's not very good. Honestly, though, it's so weird at times that I was like, is this my favorite movie of the year? Like...
What?
It's like Clint Eastwood just be like, blah, 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 shit, I'm an old man. It's just like...
That's like all his latest films, pretty much.
Yeah, but then there's also scenes of him like being confused and his like family's mad at him, and it's like laughably bad. Or like a scene of like him talking to a drug cartel guy, and the guy's like, "Oh, let me show you how to use your iPhone." He's like, "All right, so what you're gonna want to do is go like here, and you're gonna go here, dude." It's like a cartel member like teaching Clint Eastwood how to use a phone. It's like, what? Yeah. But then
the funny thing is, like, the old people in the audience are probably like, huh.
Yeah. But he's like also a racist, and like, there's like unnecessary racism in it just because he's an old man. It's like, I get it. It's an interesting thing.
I feel like Clint Eastwood is just that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's like you do it in enough movies where it's like, this is a good. If Clint Eastwood is making movies about, he's like, look, I'm an old man, and like this isn't cool. It's like, all right, but he's just making movies where like he's an old racist, and it's just kind of like. All right, like
we get it, man. Like, I guess you just are a racist. I don't know.
Yeah, like
you're trying to teach yourself a lesson here. Like, what is this? I don't
know. It's weird. It's just kind of strange and unnecessary in this one. But yeah, certain scenes, like Clint Eastwood having a threesome, amazing.
What? That happens?
Well, okay.
That
so this
happens?
is the thing. I heard that he had a threesome, and I was like, well, I will 100% watch this movie now.
So that's the thing that got you to watch it?
Yeah. And then we're watching the movie, me and my roommate, and there's a scene where he's at a motel and there's people like spying on him. And he's just, like, dancing with a woman in his room, and another woman walks in, and the door's open for some reason. And he's like, hey, baby, and then, like, falls on the bed. And then it cuts away, and I was like, was that the fucking threesome scene? Because I am mad. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted a threesome scene, you know? But then there's eventually another threesome scene later in the movie. Which doesn't go, it's not like a scene of him just like fucking two women, which would be amazing. But there's enough that it delivered on the promise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, is there like a sensual scene that happens?
Yeah, it like they get up to it. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
But it's him just like making jokes. He's like, I gotta check my heart monitor. Oh, I gotta go to the doctor. This is like...
It's funny as he wrote that movie for himself.
Yeah, he's just like, what about a scene where it's just like, I just like fuck two women, you know? It's like, all right, chill out, Clint.
We'll give you whatever you want, Clint.
Realistically, they'd be like, wait, what? And he'd be like, it's super weird.
That sounds very strange, but something I kind of want to see.
Yeah, it was weirdly enjoyable. I didn't like it. I thought it was a bad movie, but it was weirdly enjoyable to watch.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Well,
Yeah.
That's
it.
Good? Okay.
Yeah.
That's going to end what we've been watching. We're going to get into non-spoilers for It Chapter 2, starting right now.
Something happens to you when you leave this town. The farther away, the hazier it all gets. But me, I never left. I remember all of it.
To the losers.
We made an oath.
Swear? If it isn't dead, if it ever comes back, we'll come back to it.
We didn't stop it.
Pennywise.
The clown. We can't let it happen again.
Hello?
Kid! Hello.
That was from the trailer of It Chapter 2. 27 years after their first encounter with the terrifying Pennywise, the Losers Club have grown up and moved away until a devastating phone call brings them back. This is directed by the same guy who did the first one, Andy Muschietti, and stars Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy, Bill Hader. Those are the main guys. We got Bill Skarsgård, and all the kids are back in some flash scenes. Non-spoilers. Zach, first of all, maybe talk about what you thought of the first film, the Chapter 1.
Okay.
And how you thought this one followed up.
Okay. Well, I wasn't crazy about It Chapter 1, but I thought it was fun enough. Like, wasn't mad I watched it, but wasn't like craving to like ever watch it again, really. I liked a lot of the smaller moments with the clown, but some of the more big stuff missed the mark a little bit for me. Kids' performances were good. I did think at times it was scary. So I was like, okay, that was like a fun movie to see in the theater, but like didn't love it. And I thought It Chapter 2 was just a big fucking piece of shit. I hated it.
I I'm pretty much there with you. I didn't hate it, but it definitely wasn't that great. I think I liked probably, it seems, both movies more than you. I liked the first one. I thought it was fun. I thought it was fine. I actually kind of liked it.
It was like, oh, this is a blockbuster horror movie. Okay.
Yeah, and there's some good moments. Like I think probably the first scene was probably the best scene in the film.
I'd agree.
It's so good, and I love some of the physicality of Pennywise, like him dancing and some weird scenes through that.
The kids frame thing that they do. And it's like, this is like a new visual thing that I haven't seen.
That was neat.
So it's like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, and I thought the kids were great. It Chapter 2. I kind of expected, something similar, especially with the talent behind like some of the adult stars that came on. And,
I thought it was going to be better for sure. I had locked in my brain. It's like, oh, it's clearly going to be better than the first one.
Right. No, I think this one's definitely worse. I think Chapter 2 is not very good, and I'll probably never see it again.
Yep. It's terrible.
It feels like a lot of the talent is wasted.
Absolutely.
Like Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy, like what are they doing? Bill Hader, I think, was good. I thought he did a good performance, but I think some of the writing was like strange.
It's like he was fine, but like what is he doing in this movie? Like cracking jokes in like the apex of like this 6-hour thing I've watched. Like in the middle of the climax, he just like turns and says like a fat shaming joke. It's like, all right, like you know what I mean? Like,
I know it has a hard. I think the first one had a good tone. Like it was able to balance, because there's definitely comedic moments in the first one.
Yeah, but
it balances that
actually
better.
Scary.
Yeah, there's actual scary moments. And
there just wasn't a tone in this movie.
It just felt like very muddled. Like it didn't know what it was doing. Like there were some moments where it's like pretty supposed to be intense moments, and someone turns around like makes a joke, and then it's like I don't know what to feel now in this moment. Like for one, that wasn't very funny, and two, you broke the illusion and like the tension for me. There's just like, we'll get into spoilers about some specific moments, but I just feel like it was kind of just messy, and then there's a couple things that it I think tries to do and then doesn't follow up on that.
Absolutely no follow-up on things.
Like specifically the first scene.
Yeah, like angered me.
This is kind of a mild spoiler, but it's the very first scene of the film. There's this brutal attack.
It's a hate crime.
It's a brutal hate crime attack that quite honestly upset me. And it's a hate crime against some gay men. And it's horrible. But when you have something like that, you kind of expect, okay, there needs to be some kind of reason for that. Or like, I'm not necessarily against like a violent movie film like a movie scene like that. But there needs to be some kind of follow up worth it. There needs to be something worth it, something to follow up, something to have a reason. And it kind of felt just like only to set up this. There is like a string of like homophobia throughout the film. Yeah. But it only touches on it. It doesn't delve into it. It doesn't. It doesn't dissect it or no.
Yeah.
It just sort of
like, it's not about anything. It's very like surface level adaptation.
Yep.
It felt like they like read the book and went like, okay, like what are the scary scenes? Take those out, and we'll shoot those, and then like that's enough plot points. And then you know what? Let's make it 3 hours long and add a bunch of things that have no place being in the movie. Like,
it was way too long.
It was disgustingly long.
Yeah.
It's boring.
Yeah.
I was like bored and angry by the end of it. It's I haven't read the book.
Me neither.
But
to be fair, I haven't either.
My friend who I saw it with had read the book and was telling me about it. And it's an interesting idea. It's all about like the trauma and the concept of these kids, because in the book, like 1 and 2, the adult and the story of 1 is the flashbacks in this movie. You know what I mean? So like when they're flashing back, the scenes that happened in the first movie are happening, not these like made up haunted house scares, you know?
Right.
So
Huh.
The fact seeing these people and they have these issues, and then they're shown in the town where they were raised, and you realize that the town, you see the imprints on them that's these issues stem from, and then it being a thing where the clown is creating this evil and these bad ideas to like implode the town. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like he's planting the seeds of homophobia and racism to like make them destroy themselves. So there's a point to having these things,
right?
Because it means something,
right?
But if you have a movie where a hate crime happens and then you just show the clown and you don't talk about it, it's like, okay, well, like I haven't read the book, so
yeah, exactly.
Know. You know,
like I don't know, like
it seemed like they like acted like you knew all these things.
Right. It's like adaptation, but without the explanation. Like you don't have any context for what the adaptation is trying to show. You know, like I don't know the context. I don't know. Like
this is my first experience with chapter 2 of it. I don't know what you're trying to say.
Same for me. Yeah. I had no idea. And
also, I don't understand. I legitimately don't. Were the flashbacks in this movie supposed to be things that happened? Or is it that they can't escape Pennywise so much that he's invading their memories?
I got the sense that these are actual flashbacks to give more context to what they're going through in the present.
Because they are the stupidest fucking flashbacks. And also, why would they not be shown in the first one? Like, certain ones of these seem so important that,
they're only certain.
How would these things that happen to them not come up, like, amongst them and affect what happened in the first one?
I know. There are almost some of the flashback scenes with the kids, which, by the way, they had to de-age them a little bit, and you could kind of tell.
Brutal. I could definitely tell.
You could tell. You could tell. But it has... I forgot what the point I was trying to say. Fuck.
The flashbacks.
Yeah, just like having the flashbacks kind of had no purpose, and it had no tie to like the first film, really.
No.
And so it brings in these moments like that, like were supposed to be like from the first movie, but they almost like here's what I was gonna say. It's trying to almost retcon some of the things that happened in the first one in certain ways. It was very strange.
It just felt really lazy, and that there were like big holes that they just like didn't cover that made everything it's just like not thought through. It's just like the laziest adaptation of something that is not thought through, and you can tell. And there's like these scenes where like there's one scene where James McAvoy comes into this bed and breakfast that they're all staying at, and everyone's upstairs. They're just all there upstairs. Jessica Chastain sees him, and she's like, hey, what's wrong? He's like, I gotta go, like, I gotta do this, like, time's of the essence, and, like, something bad's gonna happen, and I gotta go right now. And she's like, well, we'll all help you. We're all in this together. Let me go grab everyone. And he's like, there's no time, and runs out the door. It's like, there's not 5 seconds? Like, what are you talking about? This is the stupidest plot device to get him alone. Like, this is so boneheaded.
They're all there. They're all there for this.
Before the door closes, someone walks down and is like, hey, where's he going? And she's like, don't worry about it. It's fine. And it's like, what? Like, you know, like, what is going on in this? You know? I just was like, what the fuck? Like, there were moments where I was just like, what am I watching? And I looked at the person I was seeing it with and we're like, what? Like, even when they first all meet up again, and they're just like eating Chinese food, and it's just like the most overblown, on the nose, like supposed to be like heartwarming moment. Like, look at all these characters connecting that you for some reason are supposed to care about at this moment, because you know what I mean? It's just like, and it's like so overscored, and it's like soft lighting at slow motion. Everyone like just like turning and laughing. It's like, what is going on? Like, what is going on in this movie? Like, I have no idea.
I honestly didn't get that from it, but I kind of, before, also we were getting into spoiler territory a little bit, but let me just say quickly, before the scene devolves into something supposedly scary, I kind of I kind of liked them being together and seeing them interact, because that, like, a bunch of adults coming back together who are supposed to know each other and don't really don't know each other anymore is kind of an interesting thing to explore, I think, you know. Especially, and like, you kind of know, like, that feeling, like, going back to where you're from.
I totally
it's like
know that feeling.
Having that awkwardness, and then they kind of like try and break it, and before they talk about the elephant in the room, I thought that was something interesting to explore. And
I agree.
I'm not saying that it necessarily. I thought it was like kind of hinted at. Again, it was sort of hinted at, but I don't know. There's a lot of things that,
yeah, it felt weird to me that it was like so much. And then one of them turns around and is like, hey, so it's kind of weird that none of us remember anything, right? And they're like, oh, yeah, I don't remember anything. It's like, wait, I thought you were just all talking about...
Oh, yeah.
It's just kind of like weird. I don't know. Just things like that where I was just like, this doesn't seem like anyone... It seemed like the most literal thing. Like, the guy read the page and he went, okay, let's like do exactly like what is right there. And I don't care about pacing it from the last scene. And I don't care that there's a joke in the middle of this crazy, insane action sequence that will completely break everything. Like, I will do exactly this, and it will be literal.
Because it's on the page. It's right here. It's on the page. That's what it says.
It just felt so literal. Like, there was no nuance. There was no tone. I don't understand why things happened, but it was, like, assumed. And there was no care for, like, what just happened before. You know?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it kind of sucks, because I thought this would be somewhat decent, and I was definitely disappointed.
I was expecting to like it a lot more than the first one. I was like, this will make the first one worth being not great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to, like, love it and be, like, best movie of the year, but I thought I was, like, expecting to have fun and, like...
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it's just like not scary. There's no attempt to make it scary. It's just things running at people. They just go, ah, and then they just like run at them. And it's just like, it's like the equivalent of like watching like a walkthrough of a haunted house on YouTube that someone shot on their phone. Like, I don't know what the difference is. You know what I mean? It's like things that are like goofy going, ah, and then they go, oh no. When did this happen? Like, when? Okay, that's a spoiler. I can't say that.
That's all right. That's all right. One final thing before we get to spoilers was back to like that. What reminded me of like that Chinese restaurant stuff. It felt like just the performances in general. A lot of the actors were just sort of phoning it in, especially James McAvoy, Jessica Chastain.
He was not good in the movie.
He felt like another franchise, man. And Jessica Chastain, she just was restricted by the script, in my opinion.
Yeah, you can tell she's good. Like, she's
a great actress.
She's a level above everyone else because like there's actual emotion in her face, like when things are happening, like, you know.
Yeah, but the just like the character and the way it's written is weird, and I do think Bill Hader. I thought he did a good job, but his own personal tone and his energy like didn't fit the rest of the film.
Very out of place.
Like, he's good, but they don't know how to combine him.
It was
with,
bad
like, everyone
casting. Else. It was like good casting because I like Bill Hader, but it was not good casting for making this movie. You know what I mean? I think. I don't know. It's like, or maybe find a way to like make that work, but the way that they incorporated the humor in this did not play. Because but in the last one, it's like, I don't know, they're stupid kids, so they're gonna like be fucking around and like, you know what I mean? It makes a little more sense, but like, I don't know, him like cracking jokes, it's like, who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? Like,
but that's what his character was, you know, like,
yeah,
a kid.
But no one would ever do that,
right?
In these scenarios, like when like I would be like shitting my pants continuously. Like, isn't everyone like the most frightened they've ever been in their whole life? And you're gonna like the one specifically just sticks. It's like a crazy fat shaming joke, just like in the middle of this insane scenario, and it's just like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
yeah. All right, let's get into spoilers.
Yeah.
But before we do that,
Before we get into spoilers, I'd like to discuss a special deal from our sponsor again. Before the listeners of the Listen to Us Rant About Movies podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day free trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. So to download your free audiobook, go to audibletrial.com/LTURAM. Again, that's audibletrial.com/LTURAM for your free audiobook.
All right, getting into spoilers for It Chapter 2, starting right now.
Please. For 27 years, I dreamt of you. I craved you. I've missed you.
We need to finish it. For good.
I've seen all of us die. It consumes us from the inside until we don't have a choice anymore.
You lied. And I died. You lied. And I died.
All right. Let's I want to definitely get your opinion on one specific moment.
Okay.
I'm sure there's a lot actually we could talk about.
Yeah.
Mainly, I almost vomited in my mouth the part where I forget the character's name, but when he goes to see his mom behind the curtain.
It's one of the worst scenes in the whole movie.
Then that music, like
what am I watching?
He gets attacked by the corpse or whatever. Yeah, like the leper.
Guy. It's the same guy from the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets attacked by the leper and then he pukes right.
Yeah.
On him and
it plays some pop song.
Yeah. Yeah, it puts in that pop song and it's like, and then it almost felt like it was like placed in the timeline in the edit and like they forgot to take it out.
Yeah.
It's so
like
bad.
Meme. It's a meme in the middle of this fucking movie. It was like
it's horrible.
Made me angry that I was like that we were reviewing it and I just like couldn't leave. Honestly, I like really hated this movie. No. I'm not blaming you because like I was down to review it, but I would have walked out of this movie. Like I really hated it. I did not like it at all.
Wow.
Like it's just like this is I don't know what I'm watching. There is no care put into this, and it's bad. Like it's not only like bad to the product, but it's like irresponsible. Like we're talking about that opening scene with the hate crime. That's like an irresponsible scene to put in your movie and not make it worth something. It's like
especially,
you're just gonna depict
especially now, you know,
a brutal beating of a gay man and murder, and then make it a weird thing about a clown, and then reference it once for 1 second, only to give a hint that Bill Hader is gay. That is the only reason that it's there.
Yep. It's like
because that's
it's a mild like theme of homophobia in the town, which I get is stemmed from the book, which it is.
But
it's
honestly,
not explained.
It's changed so much shit that like you can't change that. You're like, well, it's in the book. It's like, well, I'm sure the scene of the mom being tied up, being licked by a leper isn't in the book because it makes no fucking sense. You know what I mean? Maybe it is in the book, but like in that scene, I'm jumping all over the place. But the homophobia thing is literally if you went to pee when that scene happened with Bill Hader, that theme would not be in the movie because it's talked about for 3 seconds. You know what I mean? And this movie's 3 hours long. And if you're going to have an undercurrent where you're dealing with that issue, it's a serious issue, and you're going to spend 3 seconds on it in a 3 hour long movie, like, what are you doing? Yeah. What is this movie? You know?
Going from that scene to the next scene, which is like another surprising, like, brutal attack of a domestic violence scene.
Yeah. And it's
just
like
what? So unnecessary.
Disgustingly
and it's sort of just like I get that like in the first movie she was like abused by her father or
Yeah.
whatever. And so there's like a theme through that. But again, it's like, doesn't really make sense. I guess she's screwed up, so she has to always be with abusive men.
Yeah, it's a stereotype.
Okay. But it's also like, and it's just like, it had no purpose other than them like, oh, clearly that's why she would leave him, because for her childhood love, because he's horrible. He beat her. Like,
yeah,
that it's like, why? Is that the only reason to be like, oh, he's a terrible person, so yeah, she should totally cheat on him even though they're married? Like, what? It's so weird.
I think that's another thing that in the book seemed like it would make more sense. I mean, I agree. If someone's gonna punch you in the face, you should definitely just like get the fuck out of there. But
I hope that's not like what. No, I'm definitely saying you should. I'm just saying, like, again, it didn't have like a real purpose in the context of the film, you know, other than to be like, this is the reason why she can leave him, which is a good reason, but it just felt in tone and context was just off-putting and strange.
Because in the book, they're, once again, haven't read the book, but from what I've read, you're establishing this first, so you've never seen her as a kid at this point. So then,
is that really how it is in the book?
Yeah, it's the flashbacks are apparently the first movie. So it starts with the opening of this movie, and the whole movie is told them remembering what happened.
That's almost just better.
Yeah, most of the scenes that the flashbacks are apparently made up in this to fill that space where the first movie should have been, because the movie would have been too long otherwise.
Right.
And I think they wanted the star power, so they figured we make the first movie, make it stand on its own. If we don't make a sequel, it's okay, but if we do make a sequel, we'll be able to like get bigger people to be in it. You know what I mean? So like, it makes sense from like a marketing economic perspective, but not from a storytelling perspective, because then it becomes something interesting where you're seeing them as children and then seeing how these events have made them who they are. Whereas this, you see the events and then you go, oh, okay, this is who they are now. And then it keeps flashing back only for scares. Like, I don't know what necessarily is like gained from these flashbacks aside from scares. Like, maybe there's some like important dialogue, but
one of the flashback scenes was really stupid. Was only a flashback to set up the clubhouse.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, they honestly should have had that in the first movie, because then I would have felt some sort of nostalgia, which is what they were feeling. But like them like bringing it up and like, oh, here's this thing that we've always loved, but we're only just now like showing you.
Yeah, because the clubhouse wasn't in the first movie, right?
Right, it wasn't. But it should have been.
So stupid.
It's like, they should have had it in there. Like, that's so dumb. Because, and then it's like, oh, here's this thing that you're supposed to have nostalgia for. Here it is. We're visiting as adults. It's like, I don't have that attachment because you've just shown it to me. You know? Like,
it's
really
dumb.
stupid. Yeah.
And like these scenes, like, they should have influenced, much like the clubhouse, what happened in the first movie. Like, you really think that one kid in the basement of the pharmacy would not say anything about his mother being tied to a chair and a leper like chained up licking her face, and then like I literally like don't get how it can even be in there and make any sense. Like, it's like they just like thought of that and they're like, oh, it's scary, his mom's there, do it. Like, he's obsessed with his mom. Okay.
And it's actually the same woman is cast as his wife. Did you notice that?
I did. I heard about that. Yeah. I don't know. I also, that brings me to the fat shame joke that Bill Hader said, which I think is really stupid.
So which part was that?
Well, he's like trying to pump him up to like fight. He's like, you it's like in the climax of the movie. Like, Pennywise, the giant spider, literally like looking for them, could kill them at any time. And he's like, you were a 14-year-old kid and you killed like a space clown. and you
Right.
did this, and you did that, and you married a woman 10 times your body weight. And then they all just like stop and laugh.
Oh,
And it's
yeah,
just like,
yeah.
oh yeah, let's all laugh at the fact that he married a heavy woman while there's a giant spider clown behind us about to
Stupid.
murder us. Like, what the fuck? Like,
So stupid.
it's just like, I mean, any joke would have been bad, but it's just like especially bad. And then there's this whole subplot that made me angry about the one kid who's heavy just being a total hunk. And then Jessica Chastain being like, oh my God, that was you? Like, I didn't even think of you as like anyone when I was in high school, but now that you're a hunk, like now I can see that like you're really the one I liked the whole time. It's like,
I know.
oh wow, what a fucking lesson. Like, I can't believe you finally fucking figured it out. It's just like just like such a stupid thing to perpetuate when you're trying to make a movie with an actual character in it. Like, they're not characters.
I know, it's so stupid.
They're like a checklist of things. Like, everyone has like their one thing, and then they're like they have their one character element, and then they have their one visual tick that they have that like they carried over. It's like, oh, he stutters just like when he was a kid, but his brother's dead. Oh, she smokes cigarettes, but guess what? She was abused as a kid, and she's abused as an adult. You know, it's just like, okay, sure. Like, what does that mean about fucking anything about them? Like,
yeah,
just like really dumb and like surface level and stupid. Like, it is just like upsetting. Like, they keep like throwing all this like hateful stuff in the movie, and there's no backing for it at all.
No backing.
There's literally no reason to have it. And the thing about like the kid and the fat jokes and stuff, which are super prevalent, and like another thing, it's like the like run fat boy or whatever he says. It's like, okay, I get it. It's a scary clown. He's trying to make them feel bad about himself. It makes sense. Okay, whatever. But it's not. It's also just played for complete humor.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just fucking lame. It's just like, this movie is fucking lame. Like, I struggle to think of positive things about it, like, at all. Like, I literally just have nothing good to say about it. Like, I guess I liked the one scene where the girl talked to him under the bleachers. I liked that scene.
Yeah, that was a good scene. I think that was like a pretty decent scene, but that was like a good,
actually tense and kind of scary.
I wanted more of like of Pennywise like they showed in the first film, which was, but this also was just, it was just Pennywise's face the whole movie. Like the first movie was great because you got to see his body, and some of that, like him moving around and stuff, was creepy. And you only saw his body, honestly, I think his full body in that first scene when he's like dragging the guy after the hate crime, dragging him out of the water.
Yeah.
He does look creepy there.
Yeah.
But it's like, I want more of that. And there was a lot of that in the first film. And after that, you don't see his body again. Even in that underneath the bleachers, it's just his face.
Yeah. Totally.
Which is creepy, but like I wanted more. I don't know. It needed to have more Pennywise in the film.
Yeah, in a movie where the first movie's made and they go, oh man, everyone loved the clown. He's like an iconic character. Let's just make a sequel where he has a screen time of like 3 minutes.
Yeah, he's barely in it. He's barely in it.
Yeah, it's really stupid. 3 minutes is a gross. That's an exaggeration. But
honestly, it's not that far off.
Yeah, he's barely in the thing, and he's
a lot of it's just like CG recreations of his face.
Yeah,
a lot of it.
Yeah, and just like opening up and being like, oh, real scary. It's just like a clown with like 1,000 teeth. Like, it's scarier if he's just a fucking clown.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't need to see him as a giant spider clown. He's scarier as a clown.
Yeah.
And I get that he's not a spider clown, but he's just a spider, I guess, in the book. But even that's scarier.
Well, he's an alien. He's like he's an alien.
I know he's an alien, but at that scene, he transforms into a spider, not a spider.
Oh, like a
clown.
full spider.
A giant actual spider, apparently.
Oh, interesting.
Because it's playing on the theme that like it becomes what you are fearful of.
Right.
So,
and he feeds that like alien feeds off of fear, which which
makes sense because then there's actual motivation for him to be doing these things, because I don't think they literally explain, aside from showing him in the beginning and then aside from the Bowers guy being associated with him, they don't even explain that he is creating these things in the town.
No, that's not explained.
Like, he probably murdered the one guy's parents in the fire. That's his doing, most likely.
Right.
But
They
that
only
is not explained in the movie.
No, it's not. It's not. It's sort of hinted at a little bit in the second film, but it's not. It's never like explicitly said, and nor any of the other events. It's like literally, he's supposed to be feeding off, like putting the homophobia, the hate, just like all those terrible things that are happening in the town. That's his doing. That's never said.
Yeah.
Nor explained.
So it's like, how good can this movie be if they literally don't explain? They don't, and I'm not saying you need to explain the theme of your movie, but they don't do anything to make it a theme. It's not a theme. It's not.
It honestly,
in the movie.
it would be way scarier knowing that he's like, which he is like, this is what I've gotten from the book. I haven't read it, but what I've heard and what I've read is like, he's like this cosmic force, right? He's like this cosmic energy, alien, quote unquote, that it's honestly scarier to me that he's like this entity that can kind of bend reality.
Yeah.
And so that's why they see certain things, like in their Chinese restaurant, the illusions or whatever, which was dumb.
Yeah, that scene was really stupid.
But like having this entity literally bending reality and causing these things, these terrible things to happen in the town, that concept is terrifying, and that's never really explained or shown in the films. They should have gone off more of like the kid, like underneath the bleachers. We only get one scene like that where he caused the murder. A child went missing.
Yeah.
With like what happened when they were kids. Kids were missing. I don't know. It just didn't land where it should have been.
Yeah. It made no effort to do anything except for to be a movie. It's like it made no effort to scare me. There was no tone.
Not scary at all.
Not scary at all. Also, not very funny. Also, I didn't care about any of the characters. I didn't care about where the story was going because it was a video game. The story was a video game. It was like, here's the story of all of them meeting up. Okay, they met up, and now, okay, everyone, let's go our separate ways and just like find an item and then like come back.
Let me.
This is a game. Like,
right where you're talking about, they all split off, right, and do their own thing. James McAvoy's character was the dumbest one.
So stupid.
So he runs off by him. This is so terrible, and like in a script to be written. He goes off, like you said before. He had to be by himself. Runs off, goes to the fair where he had to find the kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which again, we never know what happened to the kid. What happened to the kid? I don't know. We find him, and he goes through that whole mirror room and everything, and that whole thing happens. Concludes there, and he just comes directly back after that.
Yeah. It's like, what is that?
With no result other than like he's scared because there's a kid who's like in danger. Like,
well, no, the kid dies. He eats the kid.
Does he eat the kid?
Oh yeah, he like his mouth opens and the glass breaks. And blood
you're right.
All over the glass.
He does kill the kid. That's right.
But still, it's just like, and then he runs back and is like, "Oh my god, you'll never know what just happened." Like, I can't believe I couldn't do anything. It's like, well, maybe you could if you had fucking 6 people with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it was really poorly written, like how it came about.
It's awful.
Like you said, like I kind of even forgot the kid like died. Like,
yeah, because nothing means anything because it's all arbitrary. There's like it literally felt like doing homework when you're tired and you're just like, I'll just like write in the answers that like, I don't know how many sentences I have to write, 3 complete sentences, and then I can like go to bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was just like so lazy. I don't know.
Another plot point which I thought was very, very lazy and very poorly written. From concept, how it starts, I think is a really cool idea. But the kid who had the knife in the first film, the little kid,
the Bowers guy?
the Bowers, the bully kid, who carves the thing on like the large kid. He comes back because he was in like an insane asylum. I kind of thought that was cool, like, oh, he survived and him coming back, but nothing is done with that.
No,
literally, he comes back, he like terrorizes around a little bit, and then he like dies almost instantly. Yeah, it's like they should have built that up. What the fuck? That was terrible.
It was awful, but maybe it was kind of like, it was similar to The Mule, where I'm watching this and I was like, this guy is kind of amazing just because of how boneheaded and like weird this character is. It makes absolutely no sense. I don't like the like corpse that he's like driving the car with, but just the fact
was dumb.
He just like kicks open the door. He's like, ah! Ah! Just like freaking out, like running around. It's like so over the top that like, I mean, I was already like out. Like I was hating this thing by that point anyway. So like it was kind of fun to watch, but not good. You know what I mean? Like, and also just it goes back to the just like not having any reason for any of this. But just the scene where he tries to kill the one guy and says that he can smell his crackhead parents burning like fried chicken is the most fucked up, insane thing to write in your movie for no reason. Yeah. Like, hey, what about a scene where a guy comes and he just says something like really disgustingly racist, but he can't finish before he says chicken, he gets killed, then he's dead. It doesn't matter. It's just like, it's like, what? Like, what are you doing? Like,
I know, man.
I was like shocked. I was shocked by this movie at how terrible it was. I really hated it a lot. I don't get it.
What was the moment? What was the moment that like completely made you be like, okay, I hate this film? Like, what moment was that?
I don't know exactly where I decided that.
It seemed like, from based on what you're saying, it was pretty early on.
I definitely was like, this is not going good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is not good. I would say that partway through, like when they're about to, in the finale, I was like, I literally just like want this to be over. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I do not care.
What about like the Chinese restaurant? You were not liking it at that point?
I didn't like that. I think it was probably the puking with the music was where it's like, this movie is shit. Like, this is bad.
That was kind of the moment for me where I was like, wow, this is pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was waiting. I was not liking it, but I was like, okay with like watching it. I was like, okay, like this is really bad, but I'm here. You know, there was like, after that, it was just kind of like, oh god, because it's literally just like one, and this goes back to just like not thinking about the structure of your movie. It's like a 30-minute, 40-minute opening, and then like an hour of them like each doing a task. It's like, find one item. It's like, okay, cool. Person one goes, gets item.
Yeah.
Encounters scary thing. Flashes back. Person one in the past does a thing.
It's a really bad way to write a movie. Yeah.
Person two goes to get item. Encounters scary thing. Flashes back.
I didn't like that at all. Yeah.
It was just like, okay, I wonder what the next 40 minutes will hold for me. Probably going through the list of all these people and them encountering one scary thing in the present, and then one scary thing in the past, and then we'll cut to the next person. And then also, meanwhile, the one, Mike, the guy who like stayed in the town, he's just he's just like, all right, I'll just like not be in this movie. Cool. Like, I'm one of the friends, but also like, I'm not a character, so I'll just like not be in it for a while. And, yeah, and then it just like goes through the motions of all.
There's a lot of racist things. There's a lot of racist things too with him and Native Americans and stuff too. It's sort of not great.
Yeah,
not great.
And another thing about not like realizing how this is gonna like piece together in an edit. It was very poorly edited. The movie,
like it was.
You're right. He goes James McAvoy. I don't remember his name. you gotta come with me and I'll show you one thing. You just gotta look at this one thing. Please, come on, do it. Come on. It's like, okay, dude, like, I'll look at the one thing. And then he, like, gives him, like, a psychedelic drug. And then they're, like, literally on a drug trip. And then
he understands everything.
Yeah, he's like, I get it. And then the trip ends. And then 5 seconds later, he's downstairs. He's like, hey, what's going on, everyone? It's like, wasn't this guy, like, out of his mind on drugs, like, 5 seconds ago?
It was, like, instant, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's just like, hey, I'm ready to, like, fight a evil space clown. Like, what's going on? Like, what are we doing? Like, what's the... You know, it's just like, what? Like, he was just, like, literally out of his mind.
I know.
Literally, moments ago. Like, and now he's just, like, walking in. Like, the direction was probably just like, all right, this is the scene where you, like, walk in and, like, ask what's going on. Now, like, hey, you, like, just had a crazy drug trip. And it was insane. You know what I mean? You literally saw visions. Like, that is an insane drug trip.
You changed your entire perception of your past and, like, how the world works.
Yeah. It's like, on a drug trip, people don't go, like, man, like, I was, like, in the, like, the pyramid, dude. And, like, I was, like, in this place. And, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like you're, like, thinking you're... Or have, like, literal visions of things. Like,
you don't have literally visions.
He was out of his mind on this drug. Literally. And then for 5 minutes, and then walked downstairs and acts exactly the same as he did before. And this isn't, like, a huge deal.
But hey,
I feel like...
It's a Native American drug that we don't know about, okay? It's a special drug.
Oh, yeah, it's It's a 5-minute drug, and you feel, like, really normal afterwards.
Hey, guess what? You just take this drug, and it tells you everything you need to know about the narrative, okay?
Yeah, exactly. It's called Exposado.
Yeah. Exposado.
But yeah, it's not like... It itself isn't a huge deal, but I feel like it's a good example of just how it was, like, not... There was no thought put into, like, the trajectory of anything that happened. It's just like, this scene goes here, that scene goes there, okay, that scene goes there, okay, that scene goes there, all right, it's over. Cool.
Yeah, I know.
Like, James McAvoy goes to the like vent where the first one happened, and then he's, like, talking, and he's about to leave, and then Pennywise answers him, and it's like, whoa. And then there's a flashback of the same exact scene. It's the same scene. And then it's him as a kid, and he's like, whoa. It's like, why are you showing me the same scene twice in a row?
Yeah.
It's just
it's
not
really dumb.
good. It's objectively not good. Like, I don't know. I guess that's a dick thing to say, but I was just like, I don't understand how this, like, got past. Like, people watched this and liked it. Like, I'm blown away.
Yeah, I actually know people who liked it. It kind of sucks too, because it kind of makes me sad, like, because you can see the really cool you can see, like, the original is really cool, you know, like, I kind of almost, like, want to read the book or something, because, like, the concepts and the ideas and everything,
it's a good idea.
I can see past the badly written things. I can see past the bullshit, and I can see what they're very terribly trying to say but not saying, and it's like, that's cool, but man, the way this has been presented to me is not good at all. Yeah, and it kind of makes me just, like, sad. It sucks.
Yeah.
All right, I think we both didn't really like it, but what would you rate it?
0.5.
Wow.
I fucking hated it.
You hate it.
I hated that movie.
You definitely hated it. You definitely hated it.
It's the worst movie I've seen in theaters in a long time.
Wow. I didn't hate it like you, but I definitely didn't think it was good. I'd give it 2 stars.
For sure.
Didn't absolutely hate it, but it's definitely not a good film. And big bummer. And I actually really liked the first one, so
yeah.
It was sucks.
The first one was fun, and it looked, honestly, the first one, masterpiece comparatively. I just don't. I watched it, and then I don't understand the value. Like, what did I get out of that movie? I wasn't scared. I didn't laugh. I didn't connect with the characters. I didn't have fun.
Right.
I was
Right.
sleepy and bored and offended. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like not good to me. I don't know.
No, I agree. It's not good. It's a big bummer, man.
Yeah. Andy Muschietti. Guess I'm not gonna see Mama ever. I was like, maybe I should watch. I almost watched Mama before I saw it. I was like, maybe I should watch that before I see it. It's like, no, I don't think I will now. I don't think I'll ever see that.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that never looked good either.
I haven't seen anything for it. I just knew that people liked it.
Yeah.
But hey, if people are liking it too, maybe it's fucking
All right, man. Well, that's going to end our review of It Chapter 2. As always, you can find other episodes of this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and YouTube.
Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and if you enjoy the show, please consider leaving us a review on iTunes. Every rating brings us more listeners. You can email us at listentousrantaboutmovies@gmail.com.
Thank you to our Patreon producer, Sean Pierce, and our other Patreon supporters. You too can be a producer and or supporter of this podcast by visiting our Patreon page and becoming a monthly patron for as little as $1. Visit www.patreon.com/LTURAM podcast. That's going to do it for this episode.
Yeah, mine.
All right, Zach. It was fun bashing it with.
Oh yeah,
with
I knew
you.
this was gonna be a real ranty one. After I got out of here, I was like, ooh yeah, take this thing down a peg.
Some of the more fun reviews we have, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right, take it easy.